And before you get on social media, TV, YouTube, talking about what you think you know, maybe reach out to the people that you're about to talk about and ask maybe if it's true or not. Because it can land you in trouble when you speak of people that's not true.
Though Martell Holt has never been one to stay silent, this time he's coming straight for Kimmi Scott, and she never saw it coming. Just when it seemed like love and marriage, Huntsville was settling down, Martell has flipped the script, leaving Kimmi and fans in total shock. We all know Martell has a long history of dodging accountability, but his latest accusations, they've got Kimmi blindsided and the entire fan base divided. He's claiming Kimmi is playing both sides, questioning her loyalty, and stirring up drama behind the scenes. But let's be real, Kimmi has always been the level-headed one, the peacemaker. So why is Martell going after her now? Let's break it all down, because these accusations aren't just about shifting blame, they're deeply personal.
I just think that this narrative is going around and, bloggers picking things up and, certain people trying to destroy me. But it's not going to happen. I'm not going to allow it to happen.
Nobody is ever shocked when Martell Holt finds himself right in the middle of chaos. Because let's be real, he and drama go hand in hand. His past on love and marriage, Huntsville is filled with scandals, starting with his messy split from Melody Sherry, a breakup that played out in public because Martell refused to own up to his mistakes. Over time, he's built quite a reputation for himself. Whenever things don't go his way, he finds someone else to blame, whether it's in his business moves, relationships, or co-parenting struggles. We've seen it before, portraying Melody as the villain in her clashes with the Scott family, and now, he's got his sights set on Kimmi Scott. But in Martell's world, it's never his fault. There's always an excuse for why things go wrong. He's fallen out with lifelong friends, accused his co-stars of betraying him, and stirred up countless conflicts that had nothing to do with him. Over the years, we've watched him go at it with Morris Scott and Marceau Scott, accusing them of failing to stand up for him or even hiding their own secrets. And let's not forget, fans have called him out multiple times for dodging tough questions, especially when he's the one under fire. Meanwhile, Kimmi Scott, a nurse and real estate agent, has managed to balance her personal and professional life, all while trying to steer clear of the never-ending reality TV drama. But her ties to the Scott family, especially her marriage to Morris Scott, have kept her in the spotlight, whether she wanted it or not. She never wanted to be dragged into the Holtz versus Scott's feud or the comeback group drama. Kimmi has tried to stay neutral, especially when it comes to the long-standing tension between Martell and Melody. But no matter how much she avoids it, she's been caught in the middle more times than she can count. Sure, she's had her share of clashes with Martell before, but nothing like this. And now, her so-called neutrality is under fire. Martell is coming for Kimmi, accusing her of playing both sides, acting like she's impartial in public, but taking sides behind closed doors. According to Martell, Kimmi isn't as neutral as she wants people to believe. So what's the truth? Is Martell just deflecting once again, or is Kimmi really playing a double game?
Saying nobody knows what I did when I left, and nobody knows what he did when he left. It's speculation.
In addition to accusing Kimmi Scott of playing both sides, Martell Holt is now painting her as a covert instigator, someone who's been fueling the fire while maintaining the image of a peacekeeper. According to Martell, Kimmi has been manipulating conversations behind the scenes, ensuring that he is always the villain in every situation. While she appears neutral in public, he believes she has been secretly stirring the pot, pushing narratives that portray him as the root of all problems. His frustration with Kimmi comes from moments where she seemingly defended him, only to later contradict herself in ways that undermined him. He points out that Kimmi never calls out others the way she calls out him, making it look like he's always the bad guy. According to Martell, she has been keeping one foot in each camp, sympathizing with him in private, yet siding with the Scott family and Melody Sherry when the cameras start rolling. But here's the real question, is Martell telling the truth, or is this just another case of him dodging accountability? We've seen this pattern before. When his marriage crumbled, he blamed Melody's friends for meddling. When his friendships with Marceau Scott and Morris Scott started falling apart, he accused them of betraying him. And now, Kimmi is his new target. Martell has made it clear that he doesn't trust her intentions. But is there any truth to his accusations? Or is this just another desperate attempt to shift the blame? Unlike others, Kimmi Scott doesn't indulge in messy back-and-forth drama. But when Martell started throwing accusations, she made sure to set the record straight. In an interview with Carlos King, Kimmi confronted Martell's claims head-on, stating that she has never taken sides and that she refuses to blindly defend someone who is in the wrong. She made it clear that while she has always tried to be fair, she won't be bullied into choosing sides. During the interview, Kimmi didn't hold back. She pointed out that Martell's real problem isn't her words, but his own unpredictable behavior. According to Kimmi, Martell has a habit of acting out, then blaming the fallout on everyone but himself. She shut down the claims that her peacekeeper persona is just an act, explaining that she simply doesn't believe in unnecessary conflict. But make no mistake, Kimmi isn't naive. She understands Martell's frustration, but she won't twist the truth just to soothe his ego. She has supported him when he was in the right, but she refuses to lie to protect his reputation. But here's where it gets real. Martell isn't backing down, and his accusations are starting to take a toll. So is Kimmi really the mastermind behind the scenes, or is this just another chapter in Martell's never-ending blame game?
Tough is an understatement. Like,
I felt sorry for Mel.
I did too. It took Martell a long time to answer that question about the possibility of what if.
Way too long. Matter of fact, he never answered it. That made it even worse.
Right.
No, I don't like that you and Marceau said y'all would stay and hang out with somebody that you know was actively
Involved with like somebody in his family.
And you think that being there makes you complicit? No, man. I think that you have influence on someone.
Once you stay, you make a choice to participate.
No, you don't, because you're not cheating. I've been around Martell and her. I didn't see their interactions. So I didn't see the she makes me feel this way or whatever, right? In that situation, I told Martell, bro, this is not it. This is not what you should be doing. But going forward, I'm not leaving the party because somebody is cheating. No, I'm not.
Tension between Kimmi Scott and Martell Holt isn't just personal. It's sending shockwaves through the love and marriage. Huntsville cast. With Kimmi standing her ground and Martell ramping up his accusations, the divide is becoming impossible to ignore. Naturally, the rest of the cast is picking sides. Marceau Scott and Letitia Scott are keeping their distance. Given their rocky history with Martell, they know better than to get tangled in his latest feud. Marceau, in particular, has always been strategic about when and where he speaks up, and this time, he's choosing silence. As for Letitia, it's unclear if she believes Martell's accusations or if she's staying quiet just to avoid unnecessary drama, especially considering her own past issues with Kimmi. Then there's Melody Sherry. Having endured Martell's manipulations firsthand, she has zero interest in his mess. As his ex-wife and longtime rival, she'd has seen him play the victim too many times to take his claims seriously. At this point, Melody is checked out, not because she supports Kimmi, but because she refuses to waste energy on yet another one of Martell's feuds. Fans have noticed that while she keeps things professional with Kimmi, she also isn't rushing to defend her. This growing divide is putting Kimmi in a tough spot. She's always been the one to balance the cast, but now she realizes that staying neutral isn't an option anymore. With Martell painting her as the enemy, Marceau and Letitia keeping their distance, and Melody refusing to engage, Kimmi is left wondering who she can really trust. And let's not forget Martell's track record. He destroyed his marriage, refused to take responsibility, and spent years trying to make Melody the villain just for moving on. When his friendships with Maurice and Marceau started to crumble, he blamed them instead of looking in the mirror. And now, Kimmi, one of the few people who actually tried to keep the peace, is his latest target. Martell is burning bridges, and fans have had enough. Longtime viewers of Love and Marriage, Huntsville aren't shocked by Martell's behavior, but his attacks on Kimmi are confirming what many have believed for years. Martell cannot take accountability. Social media is calling him out, with fans pointing out that Kimmi has always been level-headed, so the idea that she's secretly plotting against him just doesn't add up. Instead, many believe Martell is lashing out at Kimmi because he's running out of people to turn against. Every time he's criticized, he finds someone new to blame, twisting the story to make himself the victim. But this time, fans aren't buying it. At this point, it's not even about Kimmi, it's about Martell's inability to maintain healthy relationships. Whether it's with his ex-wife, his former friends, or Kimmi, the pattern is always the same. He plays the victim. He denies his role in the fallout. And eventually, he pushes everyone away. So the real question is this really about Kimmi, Or is Martell once again sabotaging himself?
Always been heralded as the honest, Henrietta. So I want to make sure that, you are able to answer these questions that a lot of people want to know.
Answer everyone you got.
Okay, perfect.
Give me some more.
Kimmi Scott is keeping her composure, refusing to let Martell Holt's accusations shake her, even as he continues stirring up chaos. Over the years, Kimmi has built a reputation as one of love and marriage, Huntsville's most level-headed voices, and she's not about to let Martell's latest deflection tactic change that. Instead of engaging in his mess, Kimmi is choosing peace. Fans have noticed that she's focusing on her own life, her career, her marriage, and most importantly, her sanity rather than getting dragged into another pointless back and forth with Martell. Meanwhile, Martell has backed himself into a corner. His reckless accusations and public outbursts aren't exposing Kimmi. They're only exposing himself. His inability to take responsibility is driving a wedge between him and the rest of the cast. The same friends and family who once stood by him are now distancing themselves. And even fans who once sympathized with him are calling him out for his never-ending blame game. But if history has taught us anything about Martell Holt, it's that he never learns. One thing is for sure, this drama is far from over. And with Martell, you never know what's coming next. Stay tuned.